Hey guys, last winter the Curfboard Wave SE was one of the boards that I was using most frequently during my time spent indoors at the indoor skate park. So now that I've had a chance to use it beyond those confines, I thought it'd be worth revisiting my review and giving you guys a little insight on my findings since then. Good value is an important factor too, and because there's a very limited time 20% off sale on Curfboard products with the code I'm going to give you, I thought this would be a good time to revisit.
Hey guys, it's November and the season is winding down. So I'm back at the indoor park and I'm here with my truck system that I find works best in this park. We've got these nice smooth transitions. We've got nice round corners in this bowl, and it's quite a tight space. And for that, I like the Curfboard. It just works really well in tight spaces. It's got a good turning radius, super smooth to turn, and they're having a special sale for the end of the season. So I'm gonna put a code up that's gonna let you guys save 20% off any Curfboard trucks or completes. And it also gives me a small commission, so win-win. And I'm gonna walk you through some of the things that this board does well. So first thing you'll notice, the board is super low. So that is really nice for doing tricks in the bowl and that. It's easy to push. It's also really easy to pump. So there's no spring in there, no bushing. It's really easy to get accelerating from the beginning. One thing you'll find is there isn't as much rebound, so that feels a little bit different from other boards. But when you're trying to get accelerating in a tight space, it's great. You'll also notice there's no kingpin. So it's so easy to lock into grinds and get long, smooth grinds with nothing to worry about. You'll see what this thing can do in the bowl here on the coping.
By far the best thing about this board is that it has no kingpin and it cannot jackknife, so you can lock into a grind and go forever as long as you have enough speed to carry it on. It's the best truck system for doing grinds on the coping that I've ever experienced. So you can feel comfortable in a bowl going right up to the coping and locking onto that and holding it as long as you can without worry.
Last thing that you can't see is that this board is super lightweight. It's just at over 6 pounds, so really easy to get air with it and get it moving fast.
Being lightweight is an advantage when it comes to using your board, but where I found this to be most helpful is when carrying it around or when traveling, when going through an airport with it. It's just so nice to have a lightweight, compact board. So the Curfboard trucks are definitely an advantage there. The other thing is they are so nimble. What's nice is they can turn super tight without needing to lean. So you can see here these bollards are really high. They're up to my chest. And I was able to do this in 1.5 board lengths between each bollard and had no difficulty whatsoever. If you need a board that has a really tight turning radius without needing a lot of lean, this one is far ahead of anything else that's on the market.
It can freak people out dropping in on this just because it looks so crazy and loose. The board will go like that, but I want to show you that it drops in just fine. As soon as you hit the ground, it's going to straighten out. Try and twist it like that to start. So if you can't drop in, the Curfboard is great for getting started from a standing start at the bottom of the bowl because it accelerates so fast you can get up the walls in no time, just like that.
It really is amazing how quickly you can accelerate and get up the walls on this board with the loose system and having no springs or bushings on the front truck. It makes it really quick to accelerate. So if you only have access to a small bowl or a mini ramp, This is just the perfect setup for maximizing it. Because it can turn so tightly, it can accelerate so quickly, you can get the most bang for your buck on a smaller ramp or a smaller bowl. Apologies for cutting the audio here, guys. There's music playing in the background, so I wanted to make sure that I just didn't get any copyright flags by keeping that in. This is the fish model from Curfboard. I got a chance to try it out when I was in Hawaii. And you can see here on this vert ramp, from a standing start, I was able with just a few pumps to get this right up to the vert section of the 11-foot ramp. These next few clips are just to show you how well that the trucks flow on transition. If you have a mini ramp or a half pipe or a small bowl, it really does excel. You can slide well and maintain your speed when you come out of slides. This is kind of like a wave ramp, so you can see how well I can flow and keep that speed even when I'm doing big slides at the top. So the trucks work really well in that regard. But there is one issue that I have with the decks on the Curfboard, and that is that they're mostly very flat. They don't have a lot of concave, and they have no nose, especially this Wave SE one. There's no way to get your feet right up over the front trucks, so it does make things a little bit more difficult. So I do find sometimes with this board, my foot is slipping off when I try to do slides, try to do more unconventional stuff like this blunt stall. And you can see here where not having the nose, my front foot just comes right off while doing this bird slide. So the easy solution to that is to just invest in the trucks and use a different deck, or just swap out to a different deck. So here I have it set up on a deck that's kind of similar to my Whale Shark. It's a Zenit board, and it has a shape that's more like a traditional skateboard, and I found it worked really well with the Curfboard. You can see here how the Curfboard trucks let me maintain a lot of speed and flow, but adding in the more traditional deck lets me do a little bit more complexity on the coping. Similarly here, some other unconventional tricks that I've been able to do by putting the Curfboard trucks on a board with a little bit more concave and a nose. So that Crook manual is a fun one. This one I've got it set up with the quick trucks as well, and the quick trucks do give the Curfboard a little bit more lean, which some people prefer. I kind of like it without to have the low feeling. It's a very different feeling board with the Curfboard system, but it is lower and doesn't lean as much. Once you add a riser in, or if you add the quick trucks on, you do get more lean from it, kind of like other more traditional surf skates. Now, beyond the decks that are a little bit flat for my preference, the biggest flaw with the Curfboard trucks is the alternative side to the plus of them being so loose and having little rebound from the springs or bushings. Because they're so loose and easy to pump, sometimes it just takes a little bit of uneven terrain to kick them sideways. So if you're going over a hip or a junction between two ramps, that can sometimes cause the trucks to act a little bit unpredictably. And that is an issue that prevents them from being my favorite all-around truck. So like I said, they are great in tight terrain and on transition, but for full skate park use, I do find that I have a little less trust than some other systems. So I have similar trust issues with the Swelltech system, but I still love Swelltech and the feel of them. And likewise, the Curfboard overall has so many positives that I think it is a worthy addition to your quiver. It feels so different from anything else. It's kind of, I agree with Steve Palmer, who said it's kind of like a Swelltech light, in that it's so loose and easy to pump and offers something a bit different. So it's November 15th today. The 20% off sale is a limited time. They don't have a set date that it's ending, but again, use the code LandlockedSurfer to get that 20% off and help earn me a small commission. It's really appreciated to help keep the channel running. Again, if you have any questions about the Curfboard or the Curfboard trucks, feel free to drop it in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys.